Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a review on the Object 907. Now this is a tier 10 Russian, so to say, premium tank. You can only really get it with either saving up your free XP up until you get 450,000 or catching it when it's on a discount and getting it for less, but you are either going to be converting a lot of XP to get it or you're going to be waiting a long time to save up for it. So, what do I think about it? Short answer, I love this tank. Long answer, let me tell you why. So I'm going to have 1 or 2 games after this explaining, a little bit about it, and there's some pretty decent games and some things you can pull off in this vehicle that I couldn't do in the T62A for whatever reason. Now, I don't own the T62A anymore, but I'm going to be getting it back very shortly, and I wanted a tier 10 Russian medium tank, and I looked into the Object 907, and I found out that I would probably love it a lot. So here we are. Now, we're going to get straight into the gun really quick. It is pretty much the same 100mm gun that you're going to find on the Object 140 and T62. And, 320 alpha damage, as they all do at 100mm at tier 10. 7.14 rounds a minute, 264 penetration standard, 330 on the heat, pretty normal, 50 pen on the high explosive rounds and 420 alpha damage. Horsepower is 610, the aim time is 2.1, which is very good, and 0.36 accuracy, which isn't the best, which isn't the worst, but you're basically gonna have, your shots were gonna be dead on accurate, and you might throw a couple here and there, but you know, it's usable. It's not bad. It's not great, but traverse speed pretty good, 54. Turret armor 228, 180, and 46. Traverse speed for the turrets 38 degrees a second. View range is 400. Now, going to get right over in here with the armor because that is probably my favorite part of this vehicle. So right here, and as you can see, right behind the gun, 288. Besides the cupolas aren't really the weak spot of this tank. 230 millimeters thick, which is very good. The front of the turret is thinner than the other uh, medium tanks at 228. And the beak right here is 190. Obviously, the side of the turret, as you go back around, get a little bit thinner. But there's 2 spots on the front of the bottom where those tracks are, so it's 125. But the upper and lower plate are 110 millimeters thick. Not the thickest, not the worst, but you can pull off some pretty good shots with those or bounces off of those. But the best part is that the side armor, it's got a V-shaped hull and it's 100 millimeters on the side, so you can pull off some very good shots. And if you need the side scrape, you can make it happen. The top of the turret, though, has that 40 millimeter spot where things can overmatch, unlike the T62A, but the 140 also suffers from that kind of thing as well. And the top of the engine deck is only 25 millimeters thick as well, so certain rounds can overmatch that too. The power to weight ratio is 16.94 horsepower per ton. Not the best, but it still does not prevent this tank from moving quickly. So get right on over to the ammo really quick because I wanted to show off the velocity is 1535. That is very good. The heat rounds are pretty low though, at not only 900, but switching from round to round, you just need to keep in mind that your shell velocity is not going to be the same between your heat and your APCR, and you might have to lead shots a little bit more than you already do. The DPM of this vehicle is where it shines, and this is with 100% crew, Brothers in Arms, and Vince and the Rammer. You're going to be pulling out about 3,500, almost 3,600 damage per minute, which is slightly higher than both the T62A and the Object 140. It's not that much higher, but you can get this tank to over 11 rounds a minute if you do that and have a reload of 5.37 seconds, where the other ones are going to be 5:45. Now, we're going to get in over to the games that I had. I personally like this tank more than the T62A. I haven't played the 140. I think the 140 is better than this vehicle, but due to the V-shaped hull and the armor that it has, It is a very strong vehicle, and if it's on the other team and a very good person is driving this vehicle, he is going to be a pain the entire game. And I have a game that's going to show you a very aggressive tactic in this vehicle and how much it caused the enemy team to lose, like how much of a issue I was because of where I was. But anyways, guys, we'll get right over into that in 1 second, and I'll see you there. So here we are, guys. I have two games for you. They're not the craziest, like 5,000, 6,000 damage. There's pretty decent games that I had in this after wanting to make a review about it, and I decided that I can pretty much show you the best things about this vehicle in these two replays. But anyways, Highway. There's many things that I wanted to bring up because originally I was going to do a live commentary, and I was actually in the process of making a live commentary in this game because I was like, I already recorded the review part, and I was like, I'll just do sort of a live commentary for the review. But then I was like, I should just better off doing it um, afterwards. So anyway, what we got going on here? Spawn low closer to the town, but I want to go back the other way. The reason being is because I brought up during the live commentary, there's no reason for us to really send every single heavy tank over into the town or all of our vehicles into the town or whatever the case may be. Because if you're, think about it, the Chieftain was my example. Your body armor, really, your hull in the front is weak on the lower plate. The upper plates, yes, it's good, but it's only good that if people are shooting up into it and you're using your gun depression and your turret and everything like that. Now, if you're brawling heavy, that's different. The town might be better for you because of artillery. But if you see that one side's falling really heavily, and normally what ends up happening every time on highway, nobody goes to the north part of the map, and if they do, it's a few tanks, and they're not very um, heavily armored tanks, possibly like I don't know, me for example, or one or two tank destroyers, or possibly one heavy, where the rest of the team goes straight into the town, and they end up getting flanked on both sides. So if you notice that one side's falling or whatever the case may be, you don't need to all huddle into the town because they could just either cap you out or they can flank you from all sides. So you could sit back and you could use your hill right in front of your spawn to pull them out of the town because they can't stay in there. If they want to win the game, they're going to have to kill you or they're going to have to cap the flag. So just keep that in mind. Right now, we have a medium tank over here with me. It's T69, a T110E4, and a light tank. And there was an AMX AC48, but he has just been erased from the game. So I tell them to cover me. I'm going to spot everyone that I can. So this tank is very low profile, and you're going to see me use a very unusual spot for the best thing that I could have done to make me a very hard target. And that was sit down in this river and use this little island out in the middle for cover. Now it worked out pretty well for me. It could have went a lot worse if there had been big tank destroyer guns sitting up there or whatever the case may have been. But GWE 100 shot only tracked me, didn't do any damage, only done like maybe 20 something. But his Centurion 7-1 has been hit. I hit his gun, which is very good because his gun handling might not be the best, but he's out of the game anyway, so it's fine. I need to get rid of the light tanks and what other vehicles might be up there that can deal with me better because of gun depression or whatever the case may be. But we have a T62A that is actually pushing up on the hill as well, being very aggressive. Now I need to get rid of this Batchat 25T because he's one of the more dangerous vehicles, especially late game. But he's only really, not much of a threat at the moment because he's probably reloading and he's one shot anyway. So he's out of the game. And now we're going to use our turret armor and our really fast DPM gun to fuck up these guys. So there's a light tank right here who is also one shot for me, and I have the T62A that is coming up behind me right now. I'm going to try to get a shot into him, and I get him, and the E5 is sitting in a fairly good spot for fighting people who are getting really close to a spawn. I mean, he can't do nothing to me, and I can't do nothing to him because of where we're sitting, but he's definitely looking at me right now. T92 gets rid of the Chieftain in the E4, which is very good. And there is the 207. The T62A gets caught out in the open, and he's getting tore up. And there's nothing I can really do about him. I can't help him that much unless I want to sacrifice like my hit points or what I could just mess up my ammo rack gun. I don't want to take the chance. I don't want to be less effective than I could be, because if he just died. If I'm up here by myself and I'm already low on hit points, it doesn't take anything for one of them just to say, all right, fuck it, I'm just going to go straight towards this guy. So put one into the side of the E5. He's looking at, I believe, the light tank. I'm trying to get him to shoot me, but he doesn't. The light tank is going to be going straight towards over the hill, and there's the Centurion Action X already sitting there, along with both of the Arties, and there's a Leopard PTA that can shoot him in the side, and a T28 prototype. T28 prototype ain't really that big of a threat because I can send him right through the front end of him, and I bounce one from the Centurion Action X. So I'm at a pretty good standing for spotting damage, right under 2,000 and right about 1,000 damage actually done, blocked 780. Um, close range like this, the accuracy at 0.36, it's not, like I said, bad, because if you're close enough to these enemies like this, your aim time is pretty quick. So you can throw some shots like right here. I mean, I might be missing exactly what I'm aiming for, but I'm not trying to sit still for a very long time either. So uh, Leopard PTA gets one into me. He's got the 105. But I get one into him. I'm not really worried about bouncing or anything. I just need to keep putting him in there, and I'm going to out DPM both of these guys. And I got vehicles with me. I have the E4, and weirdly enough, I don't know why, but the Centurion Action X seemed to have been shooting like Hesh or high explosives or something at me, because it just didn't seem like he was doing like the right amount of damage unless he switched at the very last second. Um, or he was low rolling. Like, it just didn't seem right. But I know he shot me with Hesh at least once. And the Leopard PTA is getting ready to die. We're at 2,700 spotting damage now, or assisted damage. And there's only 2 heavy tanks left. Both of them are in the town. Now, comparing this vehicle, like I said, I'm only going to compare it to the T62A because that is the one that I've played. Um, and I haven't gotten the Object 140 or anything like that. So comparing the two, I like the T62A for its turret and its gun's good, snapshot and shooting on the move. But the 907, I don't know what it is about it, and I think it's because the armor on the body seems a little bit more reliable or trolly for the enemies, that I can get away with pulling off some pretty stupid maneuvers if it's pulling a corner, side scraping a corner, even with the angled armor. They're going to try to send one into it anyways, because fighting like T62As or anything, uh, if there's a big enough gun, it can just go right through it. So this game's over, and we're getting ready to go into the next one. Like I said, this was a live commentary, so I paused for a minute and talk about what I did, but I'm also working on the machine. I'm on 7 right now, so as you can see, the IS-7 had a really good game. The Patton had a pretty good game. T92 did a lot of damage as well, but it was a decent game overall. Now Al Haluf. Now this is the game that I was referring to. This is the one where I'm going to pull a very, very aggressive first 2 minutes of the game maneuver, and I want to say it led to the other team crumbling apart because they just didn't know what to do. So pretty even game. They got some tank destroyers, some really good medium tanks. We have 3 medium tanks: a Leo 1, FV4202, and me. We got some tank destroyers as well, but this tank's pretty quick. So I'm going to show you something that if you want to attempt, it's not going to work every time. You can die immediately trying this, but I have done this a handful of times in tanks similar to like this one. If I can get something that's low to the ground and has some pretty decent turret armor, I try this. So, and I would expect you to do this and possibly the 121, 430s or T62A, Object 140. But if you are fast enough, and since most of the team goes to the north, like west corner of the map anyways, and that's where everybody fights, they're leaving a whole section of the map open. And you're going to see what happens when they do. And none of them expected it. They did not know I was really there. So the light tank is in the position that I want to take, and I'm spotting for my team too. And I figured that they would be more advanced than they already are, but I think after they realized what I was doing, they came to help. But this T54 lightweight's not gonna really do anything to me. I'm not worried about getting shot. I get hit here in a second in the back by the Stritzvong. Oh no, it was the heavy tank that shot me. But 1500 health. Now, there's not much they can really do about me unless they come over here and get me or the artillery shoots me. But at the same time, I have a very nice hill to get under where I can't get hit by arty, and pulling them out across this open area is going to get them shot by my team. And these guys just have no idea like how to get me out from up there, because they know if they move too far out, then they're going to get hit by me and my team. I have now more of our team pushing up in different sections of the map. The team is either at the northwest corner, sitting in the place where everybody fights with all the heavies and everything, or they're still stuck at their base because they have no idea how to do anything right now. There's not much for them to move around and do without getting spotted by me, because even if they get kind of far away and try to outrange me, I'm going to spot them. And I'm very low profile tank, and I can use that to my advantage right here, and they'll have to expose themselves to hit me. And if they fire, that's what I'm saying, I would outspot them if they fired at me at a distance that I didn't see them at, or whatever the case may be. But um, yeah, I'm just kind of holding this hill right here and letting my team move up and do the work, get rid of the TVB T5051. He's more of a dangerous target for me, because if he was to catch me, he could keep me permatracked for everyone else, and I do not want that to happen. So get one into the Stritzvong. He bounces one off the front of my turret. Now he could go through the front of my turret. He could very well shoot right through the front of me, and you're getting ready to see him do it. I'm not sure if he actually hit the turret. It looks like he did. Get one through the turret right here. So I'm at 2600 damage done, block 2100, and assisted with 609. But our team has now made it up the hill. This guy gets shot in the side, and he had second thoughts about coming over that hill after me. And I think he's realizing now that I'm gonna out DPM him. Like there's not much he can do. So this guy's about to die, and we only lost one tank. They have a light tank left right now who's getting ready to die. That was pretty much the best thing that I could have done right there. Did not expect it to work this game, but it did. And like I said, I've done it a handful of times. Try it out sometime and see how it goes for you. So here we are. You can already see how there you go. 120,000, 3,200 damage, sister with 1,005. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this review. I will be going on to another possibly either premium tank or another tier 10 here shortly. But I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys later.